My name is Devin, and thank you for tuning to my channel, Devin's Mastermind. So y'all, here's what I'm going to get into today. I'm going to get into the Titans and the Bills last night. As y'all know, the Titans won 34-31. Derrick Henry had 20 rushes, like 27 rushes for 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tannehill played him a good game. And if y'all know, my Julio Jones, you know, as y'all know, he was a Falcon, and now he got traded a few months ago to the Titans, and as y'all know, he made one incredible catch. That's probably one of the best catches ever. That's probably ranked #1 in my book, and it's way better than Odell's catches, Odell Beckham Jr.'s catches. But I just wanted to say, yeah, that he did really good, even though I heard he had got hurt. So the Titans are dealing with a lot of injuries. So is the Browns too. But as y'all know, how the game ended is Josh Allen it was 4th down and 1 on the Bills, like on the 3-yard line of the Titans. So what happened was Josh Allen did a little sneak, and he didn't make it. He had slipped like right when he got the ball and all that stuff, and that's how the Titans won 34-31. And now the Titans got the Chiefs, so the Titans, I think with the Titans playing the Chiefs, I think that will determine like who's gonna be in the divisional round and who's gonna be in the wild card. Because that's gonna be a really good game. You got one of the best quarterbacks going against one of the best running backs. So I think that will be a great primetime matchup, and that will determine like who might go a little further, who will host the Bills. I feel like in the AFC Championship, even though I feel like the Baltimore Ravens got that, definitely. So yeah, I just want to say that. And as y'all know, Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks, I think, are playing right now. The last time I checked, the Bucks are leading 66-59 at halftime. Yeah, as y'all know, Giannis Antetokounmpo won. He helped bring the Bucks to an NBA championship a few months ago. It was their first NBA championship in 50 years. The other dude had led them to that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the 1970s, but that was a long time ago. So as y'all know, that's what's going on, and I think Giannis is going to be in the MVP conversation. And as y'all, and I'm sure everybody knows this, Kyrie Irving with his selfish self is not even playing. I mean, he's just a selfish player. That's all I got to say about Kyrie. He is selfish, he is mean, and he deserves not to play in the game because honestly, that's what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to. It seems like he doesn't want to have any more accolades or whatever. He doesn't want to be a leader. I mean, that's my takes on Kyrie Irving, but yeah. It seems like he just doesn't want to do nothing. He doesn't want to be a part of the NBA. And yeah, that's what I got to say about him. And I also my mama just asked me a question about how I feel about the Hawks. Well, I like the Hawks. I think they got really good chances of winning a championship. I think they got the pieces, and you know they put the league on notice last year with, of course, them starting 14-20 before the All-Star break. Then Nate McMillan took over for Lloyd Pierce. They went 27 and I think 27 and 17. And then they, of course, they played in the playoffs, beat the New York Knicks on 5 games, the team that Stephen A. loves so much and adores. All he talks about is Knicks fans, New York Knicks this, New York Knicks that. I'm like, oh my God.
Is he even from New York?
Stephen A. Yeah, he loves the New York Knicks. That's where I think he's from. Yeah, he's from New York. And then as y'all know, the Hawks beat the 76ers in 7 games. And if y'all haven't heard, Ben Simmons, it's been a lot of drama with Ben Simmons. I heard he got cut out of practice, and he got cut out of practice. Doc Rivers let him go on Tuesday, which was today, and they said they suspended him from the opener. I think they play the Nets tomorrow or Friday, so they suspended him, and it's a lot of stuff going on. And honestly, I'm just saying, if Ben Simmons does either one, he needs to go to another team fast, or he needs to retire. He needs to get his basketball ethics or whatever work going, because it's not looking good for him and all that stuff. But yeah, and then of course y'all know the Hawks and the Bucks played. The Bucks had beat us in 6 games, but I think the Hawks are going to be a little different now that Trae Young and everybody else has signed their extensions for their contracts and stuff. So I think the Hawks will be good, and yeah. And that's just about all I got for the Hawks. And next up, I want to get into, as y'all know, Cincinnati is another 2 team in the country for college football, and they could probably, like I said on my other episode, they could possibly win the whole thing. But But the thing is, for Cincinnati to get into the playoffs, like we all said, Alabama would need to lose a game. Oklahoma would need to lose, so that would make it easier on Cincinnati. And then you got, as y'all know, the Big Ten is kind of shaking up everywhere because you got literally like 4 teams in the top 10. You got Michigan, you got Michigan State, you got Ohio State, then you got Penn State, and then Iowa's right there at number 11, and then Purdue's at number 25. So that's a lot. That shows to tell you that the Big Ten is a really good conference civilian, and they look a little better than what the SEC does. And yeah, that's just about it for that. So I just want to say that. And then in the NFL, as y'all know, the Oakland Raiders have won their first game with a new head coach after John Gruden had resigned as being the head coach because of his email about 2011 with something racist comment and all that stuff. So yeah, and that's about it for that too. So next up, I want to get into don't worry, I got y'all covered. So it says Washington State football coach fired for refusing COVID vaccine. I mean, the thing is, I just want to say, if these coaches or players or whatever really love sports or whatever, or if they really wanted to they would get the vaccine if they really loved it. But honestly, that just goes to show you they're not interested in nothing. And I understand, but if y'all don't really have no reasons to back it up, I mean, y'all still should get the vaccine. If y'all really don't have like a good reason to, then y'all just need to get it. And it helps. And what it does is it kind of helps prevent you from getting COVID-19. It helps a little bit with that, and it makes sure, like, if you do kind of get it, that it can somewhat go away or whatever, or die from it and all that stuff. But like I said, that's just a lot of stuff with them, and honestly, I'm not gonna get into that because it's just a lot. It's like, just get the vaccine. Just get the vaccine if you want to do this, be a coach, play, or whatever it is, or be the owner, whatever you want to call it, the president, and all that stuff. And as y'all know, the NBA, the first time when the NBA came out was in 1946. It was admitted in New York, and as y'all know, they had a team before, I think, called the Harlem Globetrotters. It's like a New York team in Harlem, New York, if I'm right, from Harlem, New York, and it was like a team with like a lot of black people and all that, black men who play the game and all that stuff. So yeah, and as y'all know, that was in 1946 when the NBA first started in the state of New York. So this is their 75th season, and they're kicking it off. If y'all don't know this, Ian Williamson is supposed to miss a good bit, I heard, because he ain't tore nothing. I think he had hurt something or had to get surgery that he should have been got in the off season, but he didn't. So that's a lot there. And then I think and I'm so sorry, y'all, I haven't even gotten to this. My predictions for the NBA to win the championship, if y'all were to ask me, I mean, of course, it would be between the Bucks and the Nets. But now that the Nets don't have Kyrie, which I think it's really not going to affect the Nets in any way, because he's not really that good to me no more. I mean, I think, I got them, but now as I look at it, it's the Bucks, 76ers, or the Hawks, or Celtics, somewhat the Heat. A lot of folks are putting a lot of money on Heat now that the Heat got Kyle Lowry, the dude from Toronto Raptors, that won the NBA championship in 2018 or 2019 with Kawhi Leonard. And then in the Western Conference, I got either the Jazz or the Suns, and here's why I got them, because I know the Clippers, they're supposed to be without Kawhi Leonard, because he had messed up his knee in like game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals when they had beat the Utah Jazz in 6 games. And of course, so I don't think they're going to the NBA championship. And besides, the Clippers had never went to the NBA championship, but they've been to the Western Conference semis, because when they went to the Western Conference semis last year, that was their first Western Conference semis finals in history, because before they never went to it. And of course, they were always losing like point games, like with Doc Rivers as the head coach, which now he's the head coach for the 76ers, and he's famous for losing most of the game 7, so a lot of that falls on him. And then with the Jazz, I think Donovan Mitchell is a bona fide superstar. He's a really great shooter. He can score. He had a 57-point game one time when in the bubble, and we were playing the Denver Nuggets, and even though they got lost, they said that was like the third most points scored in a game of history, even though losing. And yeah, as y'all know, the first player to have more points was MJ. He had 63 points, and they had lost, I think, when the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics was a little bit of a rivalry back in 1985, but that was a long time ago and all that stuff. But I got the Jazz and the Suns somewhat to compete for that Western Conference. And then I also forgot to tell y'all the Denver Nuggets are definitely not going because Jamal Murray's going to be out. Their other shooter who shocked us in the bubble too, so he's going to be out. And as y'all know, Nikola Jokic, she's the MVP, so he can't do it all by himself. So it's going to have to be, so like I say, that my chances weighs on the Jazz and the Suns for the Western Conference, and then the Nets and the Bucks, maybe, but probably the Bucks really for the Eastern Conference. And yeah, that's about it. And that's all I got for today's episode. Love y'all. Good night.